Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial is for these adorable little duckling Easter egg covers. So every Easter I like to do a tutorial for these little Easter egg covers. So in the description box I'm going to have a link to the two other ones I've done, which are a little chicken and a bunny. But this year we have got little ducklings. These are super cute and easy. You can work these up in no time. Couple of things I do want to say to start off with. The eyes, I do French knots for the eyes, which you do not have to do. You guys can look on YouTube all different ways to stitch little bitty eyes. And then I do put a little dop of fabric tack behind the eye just to keep kids from plucking them out or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. These are super cute. They just slide right over your Easter eggs. I just got these Easter eggs from, I think, Walmart for like 98 cents. They do have these little tabs on them, which I try to always clip off with scissors because whenever you put them in the egg, it kind of snags on there. But I did not do it on those. But yeah, so a couple things you are going to need to get started. For the body of the little duckling, I used my scrap Red Heart Super Saver in the color Bright Yellow. And then for the eyes and the beak, I used a 3-weight black from, this is from Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn, but you can use any 3-weight black, and the same in orange. This is just orange. So 3 weights. I do suggest not using a 4-weight. It's too big and it makes the beak and the eye look a little odd. So 3 weights for the eye and the little bill, and 4-weight yellow for the body. All right. And then hook, I used a 4mm for the head only, and then for the actual body I used a 3.75, which I realize, I mean, it's just a hair smaller, but it does help with the body because the 4mm, the body is just a tad too big. So going down that little decimal of a millimeter does help. However, if you don't want to do that, you can use the 4mm. Just kind of make a conscious effort on the body part to work the stitches a little tighter than you normally would, just so they're a little snugger. So they are a little more snug on the egg. Okay, and then I use a needle to weave in the ends, and then you're going to need a smaller, sharper needle for weaving in the eyes and the yarn on the beak or the bill. And I use scissors, of course. And then you are going to need 2 stitch markers, or 2 items to mark stitches, whether it's stitch markers or not. We use one to mark the stitch that we put in the bill, and then we use another just to help us not lose track of our stitches. And then a pair of scissors. And that's, oh, your fabric tack, if you want to. You don't have to do that. Like I said, I just do it to keep from kids plucking the little eyeballs out. Okay, oh, and then you obviously need your little eggs. All right, guys, get your supplies together and let's get started. All right, to get started, we are going to start with our 4mm hook, and we're going to get a chain of 5. Then we're going to slip stitch to the first chain to form a ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come down into this first chain, slip stitch, chain 1, and then I'm going to keep my fingertips into that ring. What is on my table? And then I'm going to pull this tail to tighten that chain that we slip stitched into. See that hole right there? Just pull that tight to tighten that down. And then into this ring, we're going to work 12 single crochet. 1. And I am going to mark my first one just to keep track. 2, and I am working over my tail. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, scooch them over, 9, 10, 11, and one more for 12. All right, there's 12 single crochet into my ring. Now we are going to single crochet into the very first single crochet, so the same one we have marked right here. So go ahead and single crochet right into that. And then I'm going to stop and mark that first one. And we are, throughout the whole pattern, one of my cats is playing with my little Easter eggs. That stitch marker is going to stay there, okay? So just leave that there. And now we're going to single crochet into the next 2. So we have 1, 2. So we have 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to increase into the next. So all that means is 2 single crochet into 1. Okay, single crochet into the next 3. 1, 2, 3, increase into the next, and again that's just 2 single crochet into 1. Okay, single crochet into the next 3, and into the last single crochet we're going to work the increase. Okay, so that is actually our little duck head. Now we're going to start working on the body. So we're going to go ahead and drop that 4mm and get our 3.75, which, I mean, I know it's just a smidgen smaller, but it actually does help. It does make a difference is what I'm trying to say. Oh, I got the hiccups. Okay, so we are going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to single crochet into the first 5. So right back in, or not right back in, but right into that very first single crochet with 1, and then 2, and of course my hook is squeaking. And then we have 3, 4, and 5. All right, so now we are going to start working the, the open piece for the body of the little duckling. So we are going to chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then turn our work. And we're going to single crochet down our chain. So just like you're normally single crocheting into a chain, into the second chain from our hook. 1. I'm sorry, that gets 3, not 1. So I am going to get a stitch marker. If I can open my thing. Okay. Mark that first single crochet so we don't lose that. So into the second chain we're going to work 3 singles. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then 1 single crochet into the next chain and into each chain. So that's 1, 2, I think it's 6, 3, 4, 5, and there's 1 more chain right there, 6. So 1 single crochet into the next 6 chains. And now we are going to back loop, single crochet across those 5 singles that we worked on the head. So into the back loop only, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I am going to bring you guys in just a bit for this next part. All right, so now what we're going to do is into this side loop right here, see that what this is actually like the little side from the chain 1 that we used to turn. There's a little lump right there, a little back loop. We are going to work 2 single crochet into there. Now if you can't get your hook, or you don't see that exact loop, it's not a huge deal. Just get 2 single crochet into that side, and then we're going to rotate, and we're going to single crochet across the remaining loops of those 5 singles. So we worked into the back loops here. Now we're going to rotate and work into the front loops here. And when I'm done, I'll tell you guys how many single crochets you're going to need. So if you don't exactly get where you need to go, as long as you have the number of single crochets, that's the main thing. So we got there. And I believe that's the last one right there. And now we're going to just work into the remaining loops of that chain. So here, here, there, and I'm going to go one more right there. All right, so at the end of this round, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 single crochets. All right? Now that was the hardest part. That's it. Okay, so once you get your 28 single crochet, we are going to slip stitch into this first single. So I'm going to stretch that out so I don't lose it after I take out the stitch marker. Right in there with the slip stitch and chain 1, and we're going to turn our work. Well, I'm sorry, stop right there. Take that stitch marker and into the same single crochet that we just slip stitched you. So the single crochet you just took it out of, we're going to put it right back in. So you can leave it in if you can work around it. Leave or put that right back in there. And now turn our work, and we are going to double crochet into the single crochet coming this way. So basically the last single crochet you just worked before you slip stitch, we're going to double crochet into it. So if you look, right there is actually the slip stitch, and then right here is the first single. So when we turn, right there is the first single crochet that we need to double into, which is kind of farther away, so don't get too confused with that slip stitch. Just skip it and come right into the first, did I chain 1 already? Yeah. Into that first single crochet right there. And we are going to double. So there's our first double. Now we're going to double crochet into each single all the way around. So basically what we just did is turned our work so that the double crochets we're working, that the egg is going to go into, are facing out. Because if we didn't, the double crochets would have all been facing inward, so the back of the doubles would have all been showing. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and just double into each of my single crochets all the way around. And when I get back to the stitch marker, I will come back on camera. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm coming around to my stitch marker. I have one more single crochet to double crochet into. And I'm going to go right in here. My stitch marker just popped open. Oop, just popped open. I'm going to go right into that single crochet that has the slip stitch in it and work a double crochet. So you should still have 28 double crochets. So now I'm going to slip stitch to my first one right here. right in there. And now, so that was round 5. We're going to chain 1, and for round 6 and 7, all we're going to do is work 1 double crochet into each single all the way around. So this is round 6. We're going to double crochet all the way around, slip stitch to the first one when we make it back around, chain 1, double crochet all the way around for round 7. So 6 and 7, just double crochet all the way around, slip stitch to your first, chain 1, double crochet all the way around, okay? So I am going to work 6 and 7 off camera, and when I come back, we will work the last round of the body. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, so I've come all the way around for round 7. I've got my last double right here, so I'm going to double crochet into that one and slip stitch to my first. Okay, so for round 8, the last round of our little duck body, we are going to chain 1 and double crochet right back into the same one we just slip stitched into. Right in there. And then we're going to double crochet decrease over the next 2. So that's yarn over, go into the first, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the next, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. I'm assuming, if you're working this pattern, you know how to work a decrease, but just a quick reference, that's the double crochet decrease, okay? So now we're going to double into the next, decrease over the next 2, in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the next, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3. So double into the next, decrease over the next 2. I'm just going to stay with you guys and finish this whole round with you. Double into the next, decrease over the next 2. Double, decrease. Double, and decrease. Almost there. Double, decrease, double, decrease, double, decrease, and into the last double crochet we are going to work a double. All right, slip stitch to that first double crochet, chain 1, pull up a loop, and you are done with the little duck body. So I am gonna pop an egg out of one of these other ones. So you're probably gonna have to give it just a little bit of a tug to open that up, and your egg should go right in there, just like that. And I love how it automatically gives that little duckling tail. Okay, so I'm gonna pop my egg back out, and I am going to cut. Pull that tight, and we are going to weave in some ends. And I usually do this off camera, but I want to stick with you guys for this project, weaving in the ends, because the one on the head is a little tricky. So the one on the tail, or the bottom, we're just going to weave it in like normal, just like any other end. Take it right through the legs of my doubles. And then I always skip a strand and come back the same direction or the opposite direction to lock it down. And then cut. Okay, so this one around the head, we are going to, so if you look, you can see that the yarn is coming from this direction. So what we're going to do is continue it this direction, pull it tight. We're not going to completely be able to close off that hole, and then we're going to run it back in the same direction to lock it down. I said back in the opposite direction. Back the way we came. Okay, so I am going to start in the legs of my doubles. And we don't have to go, you know, all the way around. There. Now I'm going to pull it tight. See how it's still open a little bit? Okay, so I'm going to come back the way we just came, but I'm going to skip a strand or two on those legs. And come back. So you can see how the hole is opening up again just a little bit. So I'm going to pull it tight again and then pull that through there. And then go ahead and do it again just to lock it in. I need a sharper needle. Good enough. Okay. Now that it's not, you know, any kind of science or anything with weaving in that end. I just want to show you guys how I do it to keep that from opening up. So I'm going to get my little scissors here and I'm going to trim that tail as close as I can. All right. So there is the weaving in. That was the easy part. So I'm just going to give this head just a bit of a tug so it does kind of open that up, which I didn't want that to happen, but that's all right. Okay, so the single crochet that has this stitch marker in is where we are going to work our beak. So I'm going to get my orange and same hook, get a slip knot on my hook. Make sure you got plenty of tail to weave in, and I'm going to give that just a bit of a pull so I don't lose sight of that single crochet. We are going to slip stitch right in there. I missed a strand. That's all right. Pull that tail to tighten down that slip stitch, and we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Into the second chain from our hook, we're going to slip stitch into the next chain, and then we are going to go straight into the single crochet that we attached into and slip stitch. So we're going to skip that last chain. Just go right into the same single crochet you attached into and slip stitch. If I could get, there we go. Okay, chain 1, pull up a loop, and there is our little beak. So I'm going to cut, pull that tight so it tightens down that slip stitch, and there's our little beak. It's so cute. Okay, so I am going to weave in these ends for the beak. Now I am using a smaller, sharper needle. It's actually bent. All I'm going to do is run it back and forth through these stitches on the head of the duck. I'm not going to run it through the beak or anything. Nothing special, just running it in and out of there. Okay. And there is our little beak. It's so cute already. Okay, so now is the part of this pattern that I am grrr about. These eyes. So I am going to tell you guys, you can do your eyes however you want to. I am going to show you how I do it. and that's by a French knot, which is not the funnest to do. But all I have is a long strand of the 3-weight black, which is probably a good 2 feet, which is probably way more than I need. I don't know why I keep getting like a frog in my throat. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread one end onto my sharp needle. And I like the eye to be up and just a tad to the left of the beak. So if you go from the middle hole, just go, let's see, that would be about 1 o'clock. So if we had a clock right here, go into the 1 o'clock spot. So I'm going to go right through the legs of all those singles. Let's see. I'm going to go about right there. I'm going to pull it up, or pull it through a little bit, but I want to leave plenty of tail. So that's a good length of tail. I bumped my camera. Okay, so lay your duck down in your other hand. So I'm holding the needle in this hand. With this hand, hold your working yarn and bring your needle and point it to the hand that's holding your yarn. And then we're going to wrap 1, 2, just like that. Now I'm going to keep those loops on that needle tight and bring it right back, and I'm going to run it through the same space that I brought it through to begin with. I don't want to go through the yarn though. Don't go through the black yarn. And then we can pull that tail to tighten it down a little bit this way, and pull this in to tighten it a little bit this way, and pop that right on through there. And that makes a little knot for an eye. Okay, so to come back, I am actually going to take that off and pick up the other strand, not the one that we just worked with, the other strand. And the reason we're doing that is because it changes the hole for the eye, so we're not working back and forth through our working yarn. All right, so once again, I'm holding the needle with this hand, and I'm not saying left or right, I'm just saying different hands, because, you know, a left-handed person, I don't want you to get confused. So with one hand, hold your needle. With your other hand, get your working yarn and hold that. Point your needle towards your hand that's holding your yarn, and we're going to wrap 1 and 2 and go right through the same space that yarn's coming from. But remember, don't go through your yarn, the black yarn. And you can come out right, ouch, I just poked myself. You can come out right behind that first eye. Pull that through. And then just keep pulling till you get a little black dot. And then with your smaller scissors, get in there and snip that. And on this side, snip that. And then I just kind of arrange it so that the eye is over the tail. And then what I do is I take just a little drop of fabric tack, which I don't know where I set that. Hold on just a second. Okay, I got it. So I'm just going to take a tad bit of my fabric tack and come under that eye and just put a little dot. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Just come through here and put a little dot. And the only reason I'm doing that is that just helps keep those eyes from popping out, or kids poking them out, you know. Okay. Clean up this bottle real quick. All right, so now, of course, let that glue dry before you give it to any kids. Now, my eggs always have these little tabs on them. It's supposed to keep the eggs together. Sometimes they're together, sometimes they're not. I mean, they're $1 egg, so it's not a huge deal. But I just snip that off as low as I can to keep that from snagging on the yarn. And put my egg in. And there is your little duckling. Isn't it cute? I love them. Let me get them all set up. I'm short 1 egg. My cat took it. So you can see how some of my eyes are a little bit smaller. I'm actually short 2 eggs. Hold on just a second. Okay. And it doesn't matter how you put these eggs in here. You know, the pointy end can go one way or the other. Doesn't matter. This is my little tester one, so his beak's a bit odd. Georgie, or I mean Fuzzy, quit. Okay, let me get these all set up. Fuzzy. He's licking and it sounds like a hog at the trough. Would you stop? Okay. Here are all my little ducklings. They're so cute. And I also have, I'll put a link in the description box. I have bunny egg cover, Easter egg covers, and I have a little chicken Easter egg covers. So I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you so much for watching this. Subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss the next tutorial, the next video. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed. And leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys thought about these little ducklings. I love doing these for Easter. I don't know what I'm going to do next year. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys. Hugs to each and every one of you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.